So, guys, there's this news making round that Simon Ekpa has denied being involved in Biafra agitation, um, but that he's rather a mere content creator. I've seen a lot of news flying around in Nigerian space. I was so shocked to hear that coming from someone like Simon Ekpa. So, I decided, to look this up for myself. To look up the court proceedings, to see if I can find any verifiable information about that claims. But anyway, I'm not gonna tell you right now what my findings are. I think I'm probably gonna go through the news. With you guys. Finished news, of course. The news report about the court proceedings, so you guys can see for yourself and know whether this news flying around is actually true or not. Just have a look. So, guys, like I said, I want us to go through the news platforms in Finland together so that you guys can see for yourself and read for yourself and get to know actually what transpired in the courts, right? And to do this, I am currently connected to a VPN in Finland. So currently I'm in Helsinki actually, you know. So and I'm browsing the information in Finnish language to make sure that I get the best, of information that is out there. So this information you can read here is basically the hourly court proceedings, how everything happened in court. So this is basically how everything happened in court. As you can see, it is in Finnish. Oh, this part has been translated to English. Okay, yeah, this part has been translated to English, right? As you can see from the headline, it says Air Terrorism Trial in Lati, ESSS. That's the news platform that I'm currently on. Followed the proceedings moment by moment. This is how the hearing progressed on Friday. Okay, so this is how the hearing progressed on Friday, and as you can see here, this was probably the end of the trial, right? This is hourly, or do I say moment to moment of how the proceeding went. So I'm gonna translate all these things in English so you guys can, we all can read it together. I'm gonna start from bottom top. So let's do a kind of bottom top because like you can see here, this is 3:04 p.m. in the afternoon. So the proceedings probably started in the morning. Let's go all the way below. So I think the first one we have here is this. Let's try to translate this in English. Right click, translate. Okay, let me try one more thing. Translate. Okay. So here you can read the translation. It said, sorry about my voice. The trial will begin at 1 p.m. Simon Ekpa, 40, a former municipal politician from Lati, was indicted on Friday for terrorist crimes that have never been prosecuted in Finland before. Ekpa, who is of Nigerian background, is charged with public incitement to commit crime with terrorist intent and participating in activities of a terrorist group. According to the prosecution, the goal has been to form the so-called Biafran region, which is part of Nigeria, into an independent state, according to charges. Okay, and this was from 11:13 a.m. So let's get a little bit up, and then by 12:05, we had another update. Let's translate this. It says, the main trial begins in Bajat's Hame District Court. The accusation became public already in the morning preparatory section. Therefore, the main hearing begins directly with the prosecutor's description of the event. So you guys, the time is progressing upwards. So I mean, I'm not gonna be repeating the times anymore. So I'm just gonna be translating them one after the other. I mean, you can see the timing yourself. You can also go back and to have a look at the time if you want to. But I'm just gonna be translating and reading this out for you guys. Okay. It says two prosecutors, three judges are present during the proceedings. Okay. I can actually disable this VPN. That is okay, it's off now, so it should be good. I don't need it anymore. But let me be sure I still have some internet access. Okay, so I still have an internet access, which should be good. And then let me translate this. The prosecutor supports the material to be processed with general information about Nigeria and the country's history. According to the prosecutor, the accused, Simon Ekpa, has been very active on accounts bearing his name on X, the former Twitter. Ekpa has published a considerable amount of material online, of which only a part is discussed now. And the next one, the prosecutor claims that the armed group led by Ekpa met the definition of a terrorist group. Ekpa has published the group's propaganda videos. Ekpa has also communicated directly with the leaders of the groups and organized the purchase of weapons and equipment. According to the prosecutor, Ekpa's role in the activities of the groups appears to be very significant. There have been almost 20,000 messages sent by Ekpa on social media. About 40 messages have been taken as written evidence. The defense claims that Ekpa has been just one part of the Biafran separatist movement. According to the defense, he has not declared himself a leader, but a title of prime minister has been given to Ekpa's rule. A title of prime minister has been given to him. Ekpa's rule has been described as chairman of the movement. This is a key point. This is very important. You have to know this. See, I'm gonna read this again. It says, so when you hear the defense, so he's talking about Ekpa's lawyer. So the defense claims that Ekpa has been just one part of the Biafra separatist movement. According to the defense, he has not declared himself a leader. He has not declared himself a leader. Yeah, which is true. But the title of Prime Minister has been given to him. Ekpa's role has been described as the chairman of the movement. I hope you guys are noting this. So with this, I don't think he denied being part of Biafran liberation movement in any way. Okay, let's continue. According to the defense, the sit-at-home order is still enforced in Nigeria and attacks have continued to take place in the country. The situation has not changed since Ekpa has been imprisoned. According to the defense, this describes Ekpa's real role in the situation. The defense claims that Ekpa has not been able to act as the supreme commander of the separatist movement from Lati. Ekpa himself left Nigeria in 2007, and according to the defense, he has no overall understanding of the country's situation. Evidence processing begins. So by 12:55 p.m., the evidence processing began. So the evidence processing began by 12:55 p.m. The Earth Service message published by Ekpa on March 29th, 2024 will be discussed first. In the message, Ekpa says that the movement is no longer IPOB but the SI government of Biafra. In the message, Ekpa says he is the president of the movement and the commander of its defense forces. In several messages published on the Air Service, on Ekpa's account, and on the Biafra Republic Government SI's account, it is said that oil is no longer being transported from the Biafran region. In one message, the Biafran Defense Force are recruiting more men into their ranks. The recruitment target is 200,000 men. This is becoming interesting. On one of the Air Services publications, on one of the Air Service publication states, Nigeria cannot win Biafra again. You will die in the land of Biafra eventually. In a message published on the accused Simon Ekpa's S account, he writes, wiping the terrorists out of our land is a task that must be done and supported by all well-meaning citizens of Biafra. Loosely translated, eliminating terrorists from our country is a mission that all citizens of Biafra must support. According to the prosecutor, this message shows Ekpa's withdrawal demand for the first time. On one of the messages relayed by Ekpa, Ekpa S says that if the Nigerian government ministry of livestock comes to Biafran land, it will be burnt the next day. An Ekpa publication speaks of the neutralization of 6 Nigerian terrorists. The defense claims that a large part of the messages published in S service has been forwarded. The defense also states that the message do not urge anyone to join the activity or do anything. According to the defense, they are about expression of opinion and civil disobedience. This okay, so this is Simon Ekpa's lawyer speaking. The defense claims that a large part of the messages published on air service has been forwarded. The defense also states that the message do not urge anyone to join the activity or do anything. According to the defense, they are about expression of opinion, civil disobedience. So probably this might be the part that Nigerian media are being translated as being a social media content. Whether this is the translation, I don't know. I mean, it is left for you guys to decide this. The process the processing of evidence can continue after a 15-minute break. Okay, so after 2:05 p.m. they took a 15 minutes break and came back again by maybe not up to 15 minutes, came back again by 2:14 p.m. In the S messages published by Ekpa, there are repeated writing about the removal of terrorists from the Biafran region. One message reads, "If you are going to kill us, we will kill you first." The defense points out that the defense of Biafra region is specifically emphasized here. On the 31st, on July 31st, 2024, Ekpa shared a message saying that the government of Biafra is ready to arm Biafrans for self-defense. In the same publication, it is announced that the Nigerian government institutions will be closed down in the former Imo state. Later messages also mention, for example, road closures. Simon Ekpa's August 2024 S message says that the end of Nigeria will begin in September. In an earlier post, he wrote that I will be the end of Nigeria. However, the defense states that nothing of this kind has happened. Ekpa states in the Air Service comment on August 7, 2024, that he has changed the leadership narrative in terms of brutal leadership from abroad. The government says that others will learn from it. The comment says that others will learn from it. According to the prosecutor, the comment proves that Ekpa has invented a new way to lead the resistance. Simon Ekpa has published on X a picture of a poster showing a month-long lockdown of Nigerian government institutions. According to the poster, the duration of the lockdown will be from the end of August to the end of September in 2024. One of the shared one picture shared by Ekpa on X shows that during the said lockdown, a terrorist hunt would be carried out in the former states of Biafra. In one of the shared messages, Ekpa suggests extending lockdown for 60 days. On September 10, 2024, an X post shared by Simon Ekpa says oil pipelines continue to be cut. The first written evidence has now been dealt with. Processing ends today and continues on Monday. So, guys, this is basically a moment to moment of how the court proceedings went. And from this, honestly, I didn't see anywhere where Simon Epa or maybe his lawyer denied Simon Epa's involvement in Biafran liberation. And I have some other news I can share with you also. I believe this video is getting a bit long than expected, but let me quickly share some other news as well. So I'm gonna try to translate this one in English from here. Translate to English. Okay. So the caption says, mind you, this is from Yale, so you can look up Yale if you want to. So this is one of the major media outlets in Finland. So it says, extraordinary trial begins. Simon Eber, who moved to Lati as an athlete, is charged with terrorism. Lati municipal politician Ekpa is facing charges in court for participating in terrorist group and publicly inciting a crime for terrorist purposes. Here it says Simon Ekpa from Lati has been charged with terrorism offenses at the Paijat District Court. Ekpa appeared at the district court's preparatory section on Friday morning. The prosecutor is demanding a minimum prison sentence of 6 years for Ekpa. Ekpa is accused of public incitement to commit a crime with terrorist intent. According to the indictment, Ekpa has participated in the activities of a separatist movement calling for independence for the so-called Biafra region in southeastern Nigeria and has encouraged the commission of crimes through his public writings. According to the prosecutor, Ekpa's purpose was, among other things, to cause serious fear among the population living in the southeastern region of Nigeria and to unlawfully force the Nigerian state to withdraw its armed forces, security forces, and other representatives from the southeastern region of Nigeria. In the alternative, the prosecutor is seeking punishment for public incitement to commit terrorism crimes. In addition, Ekpa is also charged in the district court with participating in the activities of terrorist group from Finland. According to the indictment, Ekpa has, for example, ordered weapons for groups seeking an independent Biafra. There are also 3 alternative charges under different crime headings in this section. According to the prosecutor, Ekpa's case is the first in Finland where charges has been filed for these terrorist crimes. Ekpa denies all charges. State prosecutor. There's a lot of evidence about communication. State prosecutor Samsa Hakala, who is acting as the prosecutor in the district court, told Yale before the preparatory section that the accused is suspected of having incited crimes in Nigeria and of having participated in activities of terrorist group from Finland. So the group has operated in Nigeria. We have a lot of evidence of this person's activities on the internet and has communications. So far, is pretty good picture of what we think happened in this matter, Hakala says. However, he says that it is difficult to obtain precise information about the actual possible terrorist crimes because they have taken place in Africa. Ekpa's lawyer, Kele Gumerus, also raised the question of how much trust can be placed in the information coming from Nigeria during the preparatory sections. Ekpa's lawyer, my client, denies terrorism charges. Ekpa's lawyer, Kyle Gumerus, said that the legal proceedings will clarify, among other things, one fundamental question: has my principal been in any way involved or leading the actions that have taken place in the Biafra region? The court will consider, among other things, Ekpa's public messages on social media and whether he has publicly urged people to commit terrorist acts in his messages. Gumeru says that Ekpa denies the terrorism charges. In addition to the terrorism charges, Ekpa is being tried in the district court on suspicion of aggravated fraud and violation of the provisions of the Attorneys Act. The court will likely hear these charges in the week after midsummer. The trial began in district court on Friday, May 30. The preliminary hearing was in the morning and the main hearing began in the afternoon. After that time, there was time for evidence in which the prosecutor presented messages published on Ekpa's S. Several days have been served for the main hearing at the Pajatame District Court. So this was basically the summary of the previous message we saw earlier. So maybe there's one more I may wanna show you guys. Actually, I spent time trying to figure all this out. So maybe this one might be interesting as well. I'm gonna try to translate this also. Boom. It says, Prime Minister of Biafra charged with terrorism, significant social media income also to blame. So guys, this is just a Google translation. So, some things might be wrong or might not be translated correctly. But the whole idea, is to give you a picture of what actually transpired in the court. A local politician from Lati is accused of leading a Nigerian separatist movement. The Bayat Hamid District Court began today in the hearing of suspected terrorism crimes against local politician Simon Ekpa from Lati. Ekpa is accused of public incitement to commit a crime with terrorist intent and participation in the activities of a terrorist group. The suspected crimes were committed in Lati between 2021 and 2024. The most important of these is the first charge mentioned. The prosecutor tells MTV News that he is demanding an unconditional prison sentence of at least 6 years for Ekpa. This is the first time that a charge has been brought in Finland under this criminal charge. The matter can be summed up as follows. Ekpa has participated in activities of the separatist movement, pushing for independence for the so-called Biafra region in southern Nigeria, and has sought to form its own state Biafra. The question is whether the goal was promoted through appropriate or inappropriate means. Guys, I think this is a key point. The question is whether the goal was promoted through appropriate or inappropriate means. So this is also a question for those of them out there that are still agitating for Biafra. It's also important, to look at your strategies, the strategies you guys are employing to see whether it is appropriate means of achieving independence. I don't know myself. Maybe my readers might know better. Okay, my listeners, sorry. In my English na abia abia. Ewele iwe. So, according to the prosecutor, in 2023, Ekpa, either alone or together with others, established the so-called Biafra Republic government in exile, which is separate from the official Nigerian administrative structure and political system, of which Ekpa himself has been appointed as prime minister, and the so-called Biafra Republic in homeland, which is inextricably linked to it. In the same context, Ekpa himself, or together with others, has established armed groups in the southeastern region of Nigeria, for which Ekpa has used, among other names, the Biafra Defense Force, the Biafra Liberation Army, the Biafra Resistance Fighters, the Biafra Air Force, the Biafra Navy. Ekpa has himself presented as the supreme commander of these groups, the prosecutor alleges. Active communicator. The prosecutor believed that Ekpa has published a large number of messages on his own user account on the messaging service S to the Nigerian authorities and his own followers in Nigeria and elsewhere, in which he has demanded, among other things, the withdrawal of government troops from the area, continued to order and implement stay-at-home protest and election boycott, urging his followers to monitor their compliance, if necessary, by force. In addition, according to the prosecutor, Ekpa has generally labeled the Nigerian security forces and military as terrorists or killers, against whom Biafrans must defend themselves by killing them and preventing them from entering the region. According to the prosecutor, he has incited his followers to carry out violent attack against Nigerian authorities, the military, local vigilantes, and members of the Fulani tribe, and has also called the destruction of buildings occupied by the Nigerian authorities. According to the prosecutor, Ekpa is not considered to have caused or been involved in any specific act of violence, but rather the risk that much an act would occur. Ekpa denied the charges of terrorism. According to him, the purpose of the social media post was not to incite crime, but to convey the local government message and events in the area to the public. This is also a very key point for the Nigerians that are saying that Ekpa denied his involvement, or maybe that Ekpa said that he's only a content creator. I don't know whether this interprets that. I don't know whether this interprets that Ekpa to admitting or to saying that he's merely a content creator. I don't really know. Maybe you guys can help me to really interpret this. So I read it again. Ekpa denies the charges of terrorism. According to him, the purpose of the social media post was not to incite crime, but to convey the local government's message and events in the area in the area to the public. According to the prosecutor, the call for an election boycott was a call for violence. Ekpa's assistant, Kele Gumero, stated. I don't know whether this is correct, but yeah, that's what is translated. He also denies having organized the armed group operation in the area, but says they have operated under the local government for self-defense purposes. The defense believes that Ekpa has had no role or command authority in the activities of the local government or the self-defense forces operating under it. His role, for example, as Prime Minister or Commander of the Armed Forces has been nominal. income from social media. Okay, this is a very different one. It's probably not interesting. I mean, that's income from social media is probably not important. I will skip this one, but you guys can read it if you want to. I think I've made this video very long. I probably will stop at this, though there are some other news, but I mean, all of them are us actually saying the same thing. So, guys, I hope you guys have been informed with this video, that you guys will be able to make your own judgment, and also compare what you have seen so far with what the Nigerian media is portraying out there to see whether there is a discrepancy or not. But in my opinion, what they are pushing out there is definitely a fake news. But I do like to hear your own opinion as well. Thank you. The video, and by the way, that was all I could lay my hands on, regarding the Simon Ekpa court case. But it's just surprising to see the news flying around, in Nigerian space. So, I mean, if you have first-hand information, or maybe if you follow the court proceedings as well, or maybe you are able to read from any any media platform in Finland where he claims to be a content creator, please do forward such link to me. I do like to read more about that. I personally will be shocked if someone like Simon Ekpa will say that, in a courtroom, I'll be very shocked, Once again, thank you for taking your time to watch the video. And if you like the video, if you like similar content and you want more of it, please don't hesitate to subscribe my channel, and I'll be more than happy to make more videos. Thank you. Cheers.